This week's episode is brought to you by papaGansley.com. papaGansley.com is just a place where this guy, he's attempting to do some blog posts. He's updating you on his Twitch stream, and he's even got a little shop where you could buy Twitch-related merchandise, t-shirts, mugs, socks, hoodies, all that good stuff. And yeah, also Papa Gansley is me. Alright, word, another episode of the podcast. Tom Paradise, Kyle Raymond in the building.
What's up, guys?
We're probably just going to be talking about something that we've been obsessed with for like the last year for me and Kyle, for like 2 years for Tom, and that is Kendama. It's a Japanese skill toy. It's like two pieces of wood connected by a string. I don't think it originated in Japan. I think I saw it like originated in like Germany or France or something, and then like in the 1600s or something like that, it blew up in Japan.
It's like every culture has their own version of kendama. Like there's the French one is like a stick with like a thing on top of it called a bilboquet. There's like the Mexican version is like the ball and cup.
The ball in the cup.
Yeah. Ball in the cup. Like there's like a bunch of ball in the cup. Yeah, throw in that Family Guy.
Yeah. Mexico's favorite pastime for 500 years. Ball in a cup.
But yeah, the kendama is something that like I never thought I'd see myself like as obsessed with something like this as I am right now. And I don't know, it's kind of just because it's fun as shit, but we'll get into that. But first, let's talk about like so Tom, like, how did you find kendama? Because like you were the first person I ever saw with a kendama,
and it was life changing actually.
Yeah, like how did you discover this?
No joke, it was like around literally almost 2 years ago today. I went to Toys R Us with my parents, R.I.P. To go R.I.P. birthday Toys shopping for all of my like second cousins and stuff, and obviously, when you're like 20-something walking around Toys R Us, you don't want to be there. So as we were walking out, I saw one by the counter and was like, this, for some reason, I was like, that looks fun. Like, I want to get into that. That one that I bought was a piece of garbage. And I broke the string like 5 times within the first like 2 days of playing with it, and then bought like a more legit one. But it was like pure intrigue.
Interesting, dude. So you completely just... You saw one and like the shape of it caught your interest, and you were just like, okay, that seems like a more advanced ball in a cup. Like, let's get it.
Yeah, I wish it was more profound than that, but I guess it, in theory, was just like, that looks so simple. I want to, like, there's something about it that was like, why, like, of all of the crap they sell at Toys R Us, like, why is some company selling this like wooden toy? Like, why is that a thing?
In the moment, did you think, oh, this is like a ball in a cup?
No.
Okay, no, dude, I will say there's something about the kendama that, like, it's, like, it definitely catches a certain person's eye. Like, the first time I saw it, like, and I see, like, this like, beautifully, like, sculpted, wooden thing.
It's almost like a piece of art.
It's like a little, it almost reminds me of, like, a slingshot or, like, a bow and arrow or something, or, like, a nunchuck. Like, I don't know. There's something about it, like, if you have like that kind of mind where like little trinkets and stuff like catch your interest, like the kendama sticks out.
Well, like the wood grain too on all of them is just like, that's a beautiful aesthetic too.
Yeah, like they look so nice. They're pleasing to the eye. The fact that they're made with wood is just like it's nice.
Also, if you are to get into kendama and you start really getting into it, you'll know how many different types of kendamas there are, how many different types of wood they use, different types of paints. Deep. Like it's. If you like customization, like, you'll love this.
Dude, so another thing about kendama that, like, got me really hooked that I could, like, because this kind of happens with a lot of things that I'm into, like, is, like, the community and the fandom. Like, when I first saw you playing with it, you played with it for a while before, like, I actually, like, picked it up myself. And then, like, I was at your house, and you were showing me videos, and, like...
It's got a scene, yo.
Yeah, like the scene. Like when I discovered this scene, like I don't want to say like the scene sold me on it, but like that definitely, I was just like, whoa. I was like, there's people out here, like doing this, like even professionally. There's pro models. Like I was like, what is this? Like this is. It was like how like I was aware of that there's pro fingerboarders and there's like a community of fingerboarding and stuff, and I was just like, oh, this is another crazy little niche like that. But I don't know, like. the whole movement with these guys on their Instagram and stuff, and they're going pro and like they're doing meets and they're making money off of Kendama. It's just, I don't know, it was another thing that caught my interest.
One of the cool things for me is that within like the community and within the different brands, like you can go pro with a brand, you know, and it's like you have different teams that will compete against each other, but there's also a lot of like Kendama love that's like spread through the community. But either way, like being on like an individual team is real cool. Like you get to see how like they work as a team, like the different tricks they do, and it's like awesome how they rep their own company.
One of the things that you said like the first time that you really got into it was how much you were seeing comparison between the Kendama scene and like skateboarding.
Yeah,
and I think that that's like such a perfect comparison between like the way that you play and the flow of it, but then also like the team aspect, like getting sponsored by like Grain Theory is like getting a pro model with like Plan B or like Baker or something.
Yeah, it is it totally mimics skating like that. Even the way the videos are shot with like the fish eyes and the slow-mo and the music, it's so reminiscent of like like the culture around Kendama. It wouldn't exist like had skateboarding culture not existed.
No doubt. Yeah.
The style is just so amazing. Like, it's just take a skateboarding video, put a Kendama in the guy's hand, and you got like Kendama.
Yeah.
And realistically, there are a lot of skate videos where people are using Kendamas too. Like the scenes intermingle.
Well, especially nowadays, I'm seeing it. Like I'm seeing it blow up. Like I've seen it in random skaters' Instagram videos. I'm just like, oh shit, that's a Kendama video that has nothing to do with Kendama. I'll see other rappers like
like Adam 22 has just like blown up the Kendama scene.
That guy has kind of shown everybody. He was like the first person who with rappers or whatever that like had a Kendama. I was like, yo, check this shit out, this is dope. Like, and
now you'll see like people like ghost riding their Ferrari down the street doing like Big Cup, and then
yeah, it's awesome though.
It's really cool because if you're to take what's going on in Kendama and how it's getting bigger and bigger, and you're to like project it on a graph, eventually I think it's going to get mainstream from the way that you're seeing it grow. You know?
I'm curious if it's going to turn into like the yo-yo when we were younger. Like, do you remember when like the yo-yo exploded when we were in like middle school or elementary school?
Totally. And I do, like, it was a similar thing back then. Like, I collected yo-yos, I customized them, and...
I still love yo-yos.
I do. I haven't touched one forever.
Me
but, like,
either.
You heard of pro yo-yoers. You heard
of yeah.
And, like, it is similar to that, but it's... That didn't have social media, so like that's why I don't think this is going.
That's 100% it.
Yeah.
Like that's it. It's like you didn't. There was no way for these crazy, like pro yo-yoers were more of like myths. Now pro Kendama players are these Instagram accounts. Like they have these crazy Instagram accounts. You can see everything.
You can get a verified Instagram account by being like a pro Kendama player.
Yeah.
And what's so cool to me is like I'll see one of the pros doing like a ridiculous trick, and I'm like, I want to land that. You know, and then I just push myself and play. And honestly, like, you don't land the hard tricks like easily. Like it doesn't take like 1 second.
That's one of the beautiful things about it too, though, is like it looks so easy when you watch somebody play Kendama that knows how to play. It looks easy. So like when you first see somebody do Big Cup, you're like, oh yeah, that's whatever. And then you try for the first time, and you're like, I suck. Like
that happened to me because Tom showed me my first Kendama, and he was like, all right, just like. Pull it up to like Big Cup, and I was just like, okay, and I was swinging it out, and like I was swinging the ball out like in like a circular motion and pulling it up, and it was just all out of control and all wild.
Everybody who picks it up, that's their
first mistake in Kendama, and Tom was like, no, pull it straight up onto the cup, and I was like, okay, and then I got it, and I was like, whoa, it's like, and I fell in love after that. Like at first when I saw this thing, I was like, all right, let's see what happens, and then I
you ordered one on the internet before you even left my house.
That's what I'm saying. I fell in love.
We had a serious session. You
we got into
all the Kendamas laid out. Your internet is shit.
I played.
That's why I got so into it, because the internet at my house is garbage.
Thank God for that garbage internet. Thank God for that that's what I told. I forgot who asked me, and I told him that's how I got into Kendamas, because like. His internet was garbage, and then like he got into it, and I saw him playing with it.
Yeah, that is the story. It's like my friend had it, and like I saw it, but then like when you played with it all summer without internet, and like you were doing these things, I was like, how the fuck can you do that?
Thank God for his shitty internet.
I was like, I think I can do that too, but like I don't know. Yeah, it's like that's when like the spark for like the hunger started.
It's so funny because you see someone doing a trick and you're like, oh, I think I can do that. And like, if you've never played Kendama before and you see it, you're like, oh, psh, I can do that. You pick it up, you can't do shit, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're lucky, you can do some like cool things, but you're only like very small. But like, when you start really playing, you start lacing together bigger tricks, but it doesn't take like 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes like a really long time to get the trick like done.
Long as fuck.
It takes patience, dedication, and a lot of like discipline.
I've always wondered though, like, what is the psychology in like between the three of us, like, that allows you to want to chase to get better, to like do that trick. Whereas like some people, I feel like, buy a kendama, try it, get a few tricks, and then they like feel like they've hit a wall and just like hanging on the shelf, like you haven't touched your yo-yos in 100 years. Like, is like,
that's true.
What like what about, like, there's times where like I'm like, this toy sucks, I can't do anything, and then the next day I'll do something insane. It's like, there's something about it, that this simple thing that makes me want to like keep trying and keep persevering.
When I was reading the Dark Tower series, I literally stopped. I didn't stop playing Kendama completely.
Shout out Stephen King.
But shout out Stephen King. Thanks for that book series. Amazing.
Great guy.
Go out and read it. Anyway,
I'm on the third book.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh damn, bro.
We'll talk about that later.
Maybe another podcast.
Different podcast.
I read the entire series. I'm done with it.
I'm working on it. I'm slowly reading.
I mean to like have one like where you just like go in and talk about how much you love Dark Tower.
We'll have to bring my dad for the Stephen King episode.
Dude, your dad is a fucking vat of knowledge with like all this stuff.
My dad has read every Stephen King book ever.
Dude, I'm gonna go on to The Stand next, but anyway,
right.
back to the conversation. Like, I was reading The Dark Tower for a very long time, and I didn't play Kendama as much. And honestly, like, I still knew I loved playing, but like I just put it down. Yeah. And then when I was done with the series, I picked it up again. I thought I was going to be trash, and like where I plateaued, I picked up and pushed farther. Sometimes you got to put it down for a little bit to get much better at it.
Yeah, because then it becomes like it sets into your head. Like you think about it, it becomes muscle memory, and then like you have that experience where you put it down for a minute, and the next time you pick it up, your first 3 tries are fucking fire.
And you feel that energy again. Yeah. You're just like, whoa, I'm back. And then and then it's just like a fire rhythm, and you just push yourself. And that's the biggest thing about Kendama for me, is pushing myself to the limit of what I can do. Because it's like, I at the beginning, I saw this trick called the UFO tap back, and I was like, no effing way I'm ever going to land that. You know what I mean? I was like, that's bullshit crazy. I landed it like a week ago, and I was like, oh my God, that's exciting.
That video is totally like the point where I was like, oh, I'm getting into this. Like, that might have been like the factor where I saw that video and I was like, holy shit, Kendama, bro. I'm getting into this.
I'm TJ
like when you
Kolesnik.
watch all those different tutorials of like all the different tricks, and same thing, same trick, I was like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, how do you do it?
I was like, is this even possible?
No, but that's brings me back to what you were saying, is like what drives us to keep going is like there's a little thing, and like you reach like a certain point in Kendama where you realize the skill it takes to do certain things. Mm-hmm. You're aware of the community, so like you're constantly seeing like, oh my God, people are doing this. You're seeing them push it further and further, and like you know what it takes to pull that off, and like you feel like you can do it yourself, but like
seeing Ben Harold do his moon circle tricks for 31 days was just goddamn inspiring.
Yeah.
To be honest
look
with
up
you.
Ben Harold on Instagram. Those,
like, have your mind
stuff
blown.
That dude does makes literally the fact that he can post tricks and people that are like also pro within the community just absolutely shit their brain. Yeah. Like, that's how you know that dude is just an alien.
Yeah,
like, it's so good.
His fucking hands are moving so fast, and like sometimes he's doing videos where he's like climbing a tree and he's still doing it. He's not using the rest of his body like you would expect him to, and it's just so impressive. Yeah, like he's on that level where his hands are moving so fast. It's like it feels like the fucking first couple like Dragon Ball Z fights where he's like, oh, where the fuck did he go? Like,
yeah. You're like, I'll never be able to achieve that, but let's keep on pushing. And that's the fun part about it, is that there's no end. It's all about the journey.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, it's
like a good parallel, honestly.
You just keep on going and going and going, and you're pushing yourself, and you're enjoying that motivation there's no end to it. Like, you finish a trick, and then you get that satisfaction of finishing that one trick, and then you're like, oh, What if I add this to that trick?
Well, and that's like that whole thing too of like he was doing all these insane tricks and he was doing stuff that people have never done before. Like Kendama's existed for like an insane amount of time, but like it's only been really popular in the US for like close to a decade now, and this dude's doing tricks like when it got brought into this freestyle world, like he's still doing tricks that people have never even thought of like even trying.
Imagine that. The game is at the level, and it could still be at the level in the future where there are tricks that people have never done before. You know, and then that's the thing, is unlocking new parts of yourself as you're playing.
Exactly. Like that's the hunger. That's what I was trying to say. Is like when you see, you know it's possible, and you want it, like because it looks good, and like, yeah, just unlocking it. It's similar to a crazy hard platforming game. Like something I feel like Kendama reminds me of is honestly like
Super Meat Boy.
Like Super Meat Boy, a nice or Celeste, like a platforming game that as soon as you die, you replay the scene that you're on. Like, you gotta get it just right.
That is the perfect analogy, because with Super Meat Boy, you have to know the stage inside and out, and that's when you're doing like a trick. Like you need to know that trick inside and out to get it done.
It's the same thing with skateboarding. Like just being able to unlock the little specific details and then string them all together to be able to make this like really cool, flowy looking fucking move.
And you know what is big too is like, when you're on the outside looking in, you'll see a Kendama and you'll be like, there's a lot of people that will be like, kind of looks stupid.
There's some
not
hate
gonna
out there.
do it. If you pick it up and you just like hold it and start playing with it, like you're probably gonna get addicted. It's like if you don't try it, you'll never understand how amazing it is.
Like nothing is nicer than like somebody be like, yo, that's dumb, or like they're intrigued either side, and then convincing them to try and get Spike for the first time. And like when people get their Spike for the first time, they just lose their minds. How many of them continue on to go buy their own Kendama after like doing it for the first time drunk at a bar at night? Like I don't know, but it's still like that pure joy is so.
Yeah, I've definitely sold Kendama to people, and they've been like, oh shit, and they picked up Amazon and fucking ordered one.
Yeah. My mom and dad sponsor a kid in Uganda, and they can send him birthday presents every year. And last year they sent him a Kendama.
Oh my god,
that is awesome!
Like, dude, imagine you blow up Kendama in Uganda, dude.
Right?
You just make the Kendama scene in Uganda.
I want it to happen.
Like, dude,
Grain Theory, get some stuff out to Uganda, please.
Like, dude, I've been seeing
Sweets, you too, and Chrome.
I've been seeing like a lot of videos of really young kids like that are really good at Kendama.
Yeah.
So I got my 6-year-old and 4-year-old, like 5-year-old cousins. I got them all Kendamas, and 2 of them who are brothers, like they've been buying Kendamas for kids that they go to birthday parties with, and like Kendamas like all their friends like love Kendama now. It's like all these 6-7 years old, and like
that's so sick.
Yeah,
you're planting the seeds. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, yo, honestly, like one of the I think I'm just gonna say it, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Like you're about to say something so profound.
But like, yo, like Nick Gallagher right now is pretty much the best player around. Honestly, like. And he's 18
from like
years
a
old.
competition standpoint.
I like Bonds,
from a competition standpoint, Nick Gallagher
is literally
like
won
the best.
because
he's got the titles.
Yeah,
but literally has won almost everything recently.
Bonzatron is fucking amazing.
That kid he's the GOAT, bro. He's got the steez.
Look up some of his videos, like have your mind like just blown.
Yeah, he is nice with it, dude. That he makes it look. He's the type of player where you watch his videos having never heard of Kendama before, and like you're probably like gonna be interested to start playing yourself.
He's got there's a Vice article about him, like some like dude from Vice went and stayed at a hotel somewhere in Colorado, and like he was there and like playing with it, and the dude was like, oh yeah, like yo, you're really good at that, and he was like, yeah, I'm actually the best in the world, like I just won the world championship. and the dude's just like, whoa.
That was like probably like around last year, right?
No, it was when he won in 2014 at the World Cup. In Japan. But like, yeah, it's nuts.
All right, just to like start to transition towards the end of this thing, like another thing I want to kind of discuss is like something I didn't anticipate that have gotten from Kendama is like it truly is a test of your patience.
True.
And like I really believe like on top of everything, like Kendama is fucking excellent for your mentality. It's like therapeutic. It's like you can really clear your mind with kendama.
If you play kendama, wow, you're gonna be like, okay, this is a little too crazy, but like if you play kendama, it'll honestly like help you like learn how to get through life as well. Because honestly, like if you keep on pushing yourself and playing, like the patience and determination and like just like charisma you need to land these tricks is what you can apply to like a job. You can apply it to like what you want to make out of your life, you know?
Like,
it's just all about pushing yourself forward.
That does sound crazy, but it is 100% accurate. Like it really is a good representation of just pushing yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
I have definitely rage quit at kendama.
I mean,
of course,
dude,
of course.
Dude, yeah, bro.
I've definitely sat down and be like, I'm fucking done.
It
like,
is pushed me.
I'm taking 20 minutes off.
I've thrown it across my front yard before, for sure.
Yeah, I've spiked it into the ground like real hard.
Yeah, but then you still okay, I can get back to this. I can figure this out.
Yeah, 'cause there's a part of it where it's like the times I have been pushed to a rage quit in kendama, I almost like instantly regret it. I'm just like, kendama's not like that.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
you know, it's like it's weird. It's like it makes you aware.
I could snap this in half.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
Yeah.
But like,
I never actually rage quit, but I'll be like, oh, fuck this. I'm sitting down for a few minutes. Like, I'm sweating my ass off. Like, my legs are, like, sore as shit. Like, I honestly feel like I'm going to, like, stumble. Like, literally, because, like, my legs are just so sore.
Squats for days.
Yeah, like, the amount of, like, you don't understand the amount of leg work you put in from doing kendama. Like, if you want to just lose weight and have fun, like, play kendama. Honestly,
you can get physical enough with it. You can definitely take it to that point where.
What do you mean you can? Like you will. Like if you.
That's why you gotta watch that Bonzatron videos. He's like literally squatting his butt to the floor.
That's the whole point. Like the whole point is literally following the ball to the point where like your legs like.
Right, like I've been burnt out for it. I'm just saying, like, you know, for beginner people who may not like see it as something that you're really gonna break a sweat in. Yeah. Like it is something you can break a sweat in.
There.
And also like if you're just starting and like you're not using your knees, you're not really playing kendama.
Yeah, like if you do, as soon as you get to the point where you're just like, holy shit, it's all about the knees, then you like reach like the lowest tier of kendama players.
Yeah,
that's when like everyone there's like that huge Facebook group called Facebook Kendama Community, right? Like people will be like, yo, how do I do this trick? And like almost in every single one, somebody will be like, it's all in the knees, man.
It's all in the knees. Yeah.
And like,
or be yourself. You know what I mean?
But until you realize that like how necessary that is, those comments are like, "Yo, shut up. That's not helpful." But then like when you do it, you're like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it's like you instantly turn your body into this huge like shock absorption. It's like
it's really what it
feels like you're slowing down time.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, oh my god, that's the craziest thing. When you're flowing, there are times where the flow is so heightened, the ball is just like.
You can you
see the whole perfectly.
And it's so and you're so good at that moment that like the ball isn't spinning all over the place. It's like the ball is like the tama is literally just in the same spot going up and down, and the hole isn't like moving at all.
Yeah.
So you know where to spike it. Like it's like other times when you're not using your knees, like the like tama's moving all over the place, and you're like, whoa, like what am I doing? You're not focusing. Like, but when you really use your knees and get in the zone, like it's exactly what you said. It's like time stood still.
Yeah. But on that note, dude, kendama. It's a fucking amazing. So far, like I said, I'm a year in. Tom's 2 year in. I don't think kendama should go anywhere. There's nothing negative about kendama. I only see it causing positivity. You know, it's just bringing joy and physical action to people's lives. You know,
and
it's a fucking
dope
really
hand-eye
positive
coordination.
Thing. And dope hand-eye coordination, bro. Like I guarantee, like if you pick up archery after you master kendama, it's probably gonna be a little easier.
Or like on a more like relatable level, like if you're like like in the fridge or something and something falls real fast and like you need to catch it, boom, like you have that skill now.
You know, like I'm not even kidding. Like I have caught myself, 100%. Doing shit like that. It's like nuts.
I almost feel like I'm a superhuman. It's like times I feel like Quicksilver from X-Men.
I feel like Pete Parker, bro. I feel like him.
True, yeah.
No doubt.
But yeah, dude, this was a good one. Tom and Kyle, yo. Thanks, guys. Follow these motherfuckers on whatever social media you want. I got links and shit. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Much love.
I don't be smashing these hoes. I I got a wife, hey, making that living that money. We working all night, hey, getting respect in them hundreds. I'm living my life, hey, I don't be smashing these hoes. I got a wife, ay, I don't be smashing these hoes.